Let's begin in Anambra State, where the governor, Professor Charles Soludo, announced payment of additional 12,000 naira to about 59,000 pensioners and public servants in service of the states and 21 local government areas. The largesse to be paid from September to December is to cushion the effects of petrol subsidy removal on citizens. Governor Soludo said the gesture is in addition to the 10% salary increase which the state has been paying since January 2023. This thing is not playing out. As I was coming this afternoon, I saw, I think Ifakojai, local government, should be Ifakojai, local government. Did you see the people in front of that local government? And I stopped to ask what's happening. I thought it was the normal palliative, but I think half bag of rice or 1/4 bag of rice. I think the bag of rice for 1,000 will go for 1,000, but maybe the market value is like 2,500, 3,000 naira. But something to just subsidize household items, and also in Ojodu local government, the Segun Odumaku had initiated something like that earlier, like last month, that people, the local government council, in their secretariat, they bought a lot of provisions and heavily subsidized.
Heavily subsidized.
And so now Anambra State is doing it way of touching the salary and just adding small incentives.
I think is a good step. At least people will really have hope that at least something is coming up. In Borno State, which everybody is now seeing, before coming on set, somebody just sent me a video of people carrying bags of rice and millet, in Borno State, given by Governor Babagana Zulum, as in 50 kg bags. I'm not talking about just 1 kg. It's not 1/4, or that they will now mix beans, mix rice on top and all that. No, this one is 1 full bag of rice. Wow, that is one household, So with what Soludo is also trying to do is, okay, we have 59,000 pensioners and civil servants. We are going to give them bags of rice, and we are also going to give them 12,000 naira extra from their regular pension and the regular salary. That is extra. That one is not taxable. So it's just like saying, okay, if you are earning 30K, I will add additional 12,000 to your 30K from September to December. This is just to cushion the effects of the removal of subsidy, which I think all state governors are supposed to be part of. And I
local
feel
governments, they've also killed it.
Because
they collect
allocation too. So what the local governments
to lift the burden,
at least for Lagos, most of the local government chairmen that I've heard, what they did was, okay, if you are buying bags of rice if a bag of rice for 40K, they will now subsidize with maybe 20K and say, okay, buy for 20K for your family. Same with groundnut oil. If it's 5K, they tell you, okay, it's 2,005. So they subsidize close to 50% to 60% and 70%, so that families can be able to afford these things for themselves for maybe a month or two, depending on how they eat, and depending on the number of people in your house. So this is how we want these things to be done. Like, I was even chatting with one of my friends outside. They said, originally, just like that of Ifakojai, they're not even supposed to go out. Abroad, they send you the tickets. They call it the meal ticket. They send it to your
inbox. At the end of the month.
At the end of the month, they send it to you. So you don't need to go through that stress.
In America, you can just check into the next $1 shop.
$1 shop. You buy whatever you want to buy with
heavily subsidized.
Because there's a ticket for it. So but I told him, I said, we don't have data. If you are sending anything, sometimes somebody can send you mail from anywhere, and at the end of the day, they tell you it's number 15, the Continental Way. They will take you to another Continental Way that is somewhere else. And the data that we do not have is causing a huge problem for us. If we have the accurate data, we know where everybody is staying. Even if you are moving from one local government to another local government, the data is supposed to change immediately that you have moved. So the government will now know that Mr. A moved from one local government to the other, but is still in existence. So data is very important, but this that Soludo has done is wonderful, is good, and I will also commend every other governor that is also doing something similar in terms of getting people to get raw food for their families. Because if somebody is not eating, they say a hungry man is an angry man. They will take to crime.
How do we make this palliative cut across? Because the effect of the removal of subsidy, has affected everything that has cut across. Nobody will say they've not felt the effect, the impact. So if you want to ease the people, the standard of living and everything, how do we do that effectively to make sure, yes, cut across?
He just talked about data, but that is one way. If you don't know cannot capture the population of those who are actually in need, it's going to be a problem. It's easy when you're dealing with civil servants. What Soludo is doing in Anambra, it's easy to get the data, the number of pensioners, the number of civil servants, and all of that. You just have to be very sure that there are no ghost workers. But when you are dealing with the people, like the case of, there's still something that Soludo is doing, saying that those that there'll be some largesse for those who are earning less than, who have less than 100,000 capital, like the artisans, like the hawkers, and all of that. That's where you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem there because how do you capture the people who who really need it? So this time, I think they need some serious ingenuity. There has to be a way of registering to know those. And I think they can also use the unions, actually. You can use the unions, like you have the transport unions, you have the Okada Riders Union. You're talking about how to make sure that those that actually need it are those who are getting it. So they need the unions, associations to assist. And people just need to be very, very honest with themselves. Because in this country, people try to manipulate. It's not that one big top shot in the union will say, okay, put the name of his brother or his son or his nephew and all of that. So I think it's very, very important. But beyond, I'm happy that local governments are doing something in Lagos, because we have always complained that everything can't just be federal government, state government, what are local governments doing? But we see some local governments doing something. I hope that
it will cut across all local governments.
But
I can confirm the one of Ojodu local government that Segun Odubaku and Fakojayi.
Yeah, exactly. Just two out of 57 local councils in Lagos.
I've seen activities.
If others are doing something, let them publicize so that we can know and praise them. But beyond food is very, very important, because we also need to find a way of helping the area of transport. For example, I know the Lagos State government is trying, but I am not sure that the transporters have complied with the plan to subsidize.
The directive by the
directive, because if you ask those who are taking commercial transport, I don't think they have seen any significant difference in what they have been paying. So
it's like that sector is not regulated.
I don't know.
Because the conductor will just come around 8 o'clock in the night, they just discover those should 1,000 naira.
Exactly. And if you ask some of them, they complain that all sorts of people collect levies from them. If you ask some of these Marua, Keke riders, they will tell you, look, they collect this at every point. Police will collect. Somebody with one curious uniform, that Agbero with a curious uniform, a funny uniform, will collect, pay ticket to local government, pay for tickets, local government, this and that. So these are some of the things we have to deal with. Because if you deal with food and transportation are very, very important.
Key.
Lastly, beyond what government is doing, I think we as citizens, we should also be a little bit considerate of our fellow citizens. For example, this is not the time for landlords to increase rent.
Very important. And Soludo also said
yes, I was watching the news on TVC. Tenants were, I think they spoke to some tenants were groaning that, yes, I saw it on TVC news. Tenants were groaning that, look, rent, this is not the time for landlords to increase rent. Every one of us must show that compassion to our fellow citizens.
Talking about landlord, about schools. And people are getting on towards September now.
I'm getting ready to pay school fees myself. I'm sure everybody's getting ready to pay school fees. So this is not the time for schools I think I've been told. I'm going to. We are trying to talk about school fees now. I think I wanted to change the schools of my son, and I was saying, look, we don't even know what the cost of books will be now, because what it was, or is it cost of uniform, is going to rise. You know, all of us must show compassion.
Those uniforms, you can't sew them.
No,
you have to buy them.
Of course, you buy.
You
buy initially, then maybe
these are hard times for everybody. So everyone must show compassion to the other person until things stabilize. Hopefully, things will stabilize.
Nigerians, they don't seem to have that patience, because an average Nigerian now on the streets, we've voted Bola Tinubu, and we expect comfort, we expect him to deliver. They are not interested in the technicalities. All what they want is that Bola Tinubu perform. And look, so far, it has not been good. That's what they will tell you.
Yeah. You know, you won't blame Nigerians.
Exactly.
It is because of the past promises by successive governments that, when I come, well, a crate of egg will now turn to...
That one is not 3,000.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to buy egg there. They are telling me one is 200 naira. Just
one?
Just one egg is
200 naira?
Yes, it's 200 now.
Are you kidding me?
So if it's 200.
No, are you just one egg?
Just one egg now is 200. So it means that if governments before you are telling you that, okay, there was a crate of egg is going to be 100 naira when you vote them in, petrol will come down when you vote them in, and you vote for you come, and they are not saying those things, and you are promising and saying, I never knew that this is going to be like this.
They prepared our minds. Some of the candidates
they
actually prepared our minds.
But you know, what I have noticed is that some people make these promises outside. It is when they now get inside, that is when reality will now dawn on them. You get so, and you will not blame. That is why trying to, tell Mr. President now that, like Mr. President is doing now, and bringing these policies. Nigerians say they are not. Why Nigerians are not interested is he said he was going to hit the ground running, and hitting the ground running to an average Nigerian is, I want to go to the market and I want to buy that tomato at a very cheaper rate. I want to enter bus, and then conductor is not telling me 1,000 when I paid 100 naira some days back. So all these things it takes a lot of patience and talking to Nigerians for them to understand that, guys, we have made this policy before it was like this, but we are trying to make sure that everything will balance. So it means that the government, this new government, will have to talk and talk and talk. This is not the time for them to sit back. They have to keep talking, appealing to Nigerians, so that Nigerians will understand that
the team is in place now.
Yes, now they have the team. So it's the team that will do the talking more than even the president.
The president, I think it was president that said, let the poor breathe. But the poor are not breathing. They're not breathing well, and that's the reality. So the poor are not breathing well. And the poor are gasping for breath. They will complain. Now, it is very important that whatever government is doing, government does it very fast. Apart from that, efforts must also be made to stop saboteurs. You understand? Look at what is happening with the forex now, with the dollar stuff.
All right.